beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. Good morning to Reverend Father Principal, respected teachers, and all my dear friends. Today, I, Akshata,
And I, Jay, welcome you all to our class assembly. Every morning is a new opportunity to do things you missed yesterday.
every morning brings us new thoughts, new strategies, new words, and endless possibilities.
So to brighten our morning, here we invite Reverend Father Principal to lead us in the Lord's Prayer.
Join us in prayer. Our Father, who is in heaven, holy be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Please open page number 22, in number 15.
Now we have the class assembly. It might go for another 10 minutes. Now there is a problem in sitting down because the ground is wet. But if anyone feels a bit giddy or if you are not feeling well, now itself you can either go onto the steps and sit down, or in between if while standing if you feel not so.
Good morning to one and all present here. Today, we, the student of class 12C, are here to update you all with some latest happening around the world. To begin with, we have Sabdev with some international news.
Good morning. Let's have some international news. Thai researchers test wastewater to track spread of monkeypox. Asia's richest woman loses half her 24 billion fortune in China property crisis. With the depleting foreign currency reserves and rising inflation, Pakistan is on the brink of economic collapse and heading towards a path similar to the economic downfall of Sri Lanka. Now over to Prisha for some national news.
Good morning. Let's have some national news. The government plans to facilitate medical help for overseas patients by providing support required for them in India. The Union Health Ministry is giving final touches to the initiative, Heal in India and Heal by India, a new portal which is likely to be announced by the Prime Minister on August 15. The government has approved rupees 1.64 lakh crore revival packages for BSNL. The result in the improvement in the company are expected to be visible in next 2 years. The package will be in the form of both cash and non-cash components. Now over to Ashwin for some business news.
Let's have some business news. SEBI gives Sabritha to buy or sell the units of exchange traded funds of up to Rs 25 crore directly with the assets management companies. A blockchain-based data sharing network has been introduced by Daimler Southeast Asia, a part of Mercedes-Benz Group, using Polygon and Ethereum layer 2 scaling solution. Now over to Muskan for some sports news.
Good morning. Let's have some sports news. Chennai is hosting world's biggest chess event, 44th International Chess Olympiad from 28 July to 10 August. In Parachuting World Cup, India has bagged first position in whole over world by 10 medals. PV Sindhu has won finals in Singapore Open Tennis. That's all in the news bulletin this morning. Thank you and have a nice day.
Good morning, friends. Now, we the students of class 12C are going to take you all into a conversation between some students which you might relate with.
I have no idea what has happened to my grades. I used to score the highest marks, but now I am merely passed. Oh, I myself keep stressing about my studies all the time. Still, I can't manage to score good in any of the subjects.
And you know what? After making several attempts to do better, I am still not able to improve. And all this makes me feel so frustrated.
I always get scolded by my parents and teachers for not fulfilling their expectations. They believe I'm good for nothing. I feel like crying as I'm not able to manage to score good.
Whenever I feel low, there is no one to pacify me. I don't know what to do.
Meanwhile, one of their teachers who was secretly listening to them enters into the conversation.
Students, I'm sorry to interrupt in between, but being a teacher, I would definitely like to talk to you about grades on a very serious note.
But ma'am, I think I'm left with no solution left to deal with it. I'm frustrated.
Yes, ma'am, I am a failure.
There's nobody to listen to me. I think I'm good for nothing.
The teacher, after listening to the students, began to console them.
Oh my God, no students don't even think that way. Nobody is a failure. Nobody is a loser. Getting less marks or not doing good in studies doesn't make you a students. Mark my words. No matter how much negativity surrounds you, but always remember, success comes through failure.
But ma'am, how can we overcome this?
Dear students, I was observing your behavior from the past few days, and I discussed your problems with some counselors, and we are lucky to have them in our midst to guide you all.
By now, you all might have understood that the theme of our class assembly is failure is not an end. Now, let's see what our counselors have to say on this.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving this opportunity to talk to students on this very important topic. Dear students, don't you think we learn about these failures early in our life? Kids race with each other on the playground. We are tested in schools and given grades each year.
Rightly said, Anjali. And this is how we quickly learn what it means to win or lose, pass or fail. Not winning tends to have a stigma around it and leads to and ultimately lead to labels like failure or loser or good for nothing.
Too many people allow external view to define their self-worth and thus are afraid of being given these unfair labels. Yes, labels like failure, loser, good for nothing, etc., etc. Don't you think we even give these labels to our own friends and families?
Dear students, failure is very real, but surely it is not an end destination of our life. It is just another event in the course of our life. Experiencing one failure or 100 does not make you a failure.
And friends, do you know? Failure is just an event that happens. It is not a characteristic. One who fails a lot, we could say, is one who takes lots of risks.
It is very important to separate the events of failure from the personal characteristics of being a failure.
Failure is an opportunity to learn, but our ego comes in between.
Rightly said, Teja, ego. When we get success, our ego tells us that we are so smart and so great. Isn't it, Anike?
Yes, Anjali, and on the other side, when one fails, they are termed as losers and that they can't win at anything. Dear students, the failure is very bitingly painful. We need to do introspection.
Yes, it is bitingly painful. You should learn to separate the event of failure from your personal identity.
You can review the situation and try a different approach next time.
Dear students, you should ask yourself that what went wrong,
How prepared I was.
What was within my control and what was not?
what other actions could I have taken that might have produced a different outcome.
And for this, I can suggest you that you have to be ruthlessly honest with yourself.
Yes, Sanji, I totally agree with you. You have to be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Because if you are not, you are denying. And friends, denial is your worst enemy.
Failure is a feedback. Learn from it and adapt and keep going. Otherwise, you will repeatedly fail if you choose not to learn from your past.
Aniket, Dejan, don't you think we should explain them with some real life examples?
Yes, Sanji, let's call our friends for some real life examples.
Here, I, Pratna, will tell you about Sri N.R. Narayana Murthy. He is one of the well-known Indian entrepreneurs who failed before achieving success. He started his journey from Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and established a small startup firm known as Software, but the business failed miserably. He then joined Patni Computer Systems. Mr. Murthy had a different dream, so he established another company with the name Infosys Technologies, which is now one of the most successful IT firms across the globe.
I, Shubhi, will tell you about a person who lit up the world with his invention of electric light. Without him, the world might still be a dark place. Yes, it's Thomas Alva Edison. Once Thomas Alva Edison, teacher said he was too stupid to learn anything. He was fired from his first two jobs for being non-productive. As an inventor, Edison made thousands of unsuccessful attempts at inventing the light bulb. When reporter asked, how did it feel to fail 1,000 times? Edison replied, I didn't fail 1,000 times, rather, the light of the bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps.
I, Dipanshi, will tell you about Sri Ratan Tata. When Ratan Tata became the chairman in 1991, his futuristic views and liberal attitude did not go well, and this resulted in the tussle at the management. At the very start of his career, two companies under him faced bankruptcy, and his employees' faith in him dwindled. He introduced Indica and Nanoca, which failed because many people did not like it. Some of them even suggested him to sell his vehicle division. Despite the many failures he has seen, Ratan Tata did not give up. He became successful within his motor division and made history by purchasing Ford Jaguar cars. Ratan Tata continues to be a global figure even today.
I, Bhavya, will tell about Michael Jordan, an American businessman and world's famous basketball player of all time. In high school, he was cut from his basketball team because he was not tall and good enough. This type of news would have probably destroyed any teenager's dream, but he wiped his tears and continued to practice until he became good enough. Then he did let his coach to decide his career, and he continued at a very young age. He understood that failure doesn't define a person, but the power to get up and try again is what defines a person.
Dear students, did you hear of this real life hero? They had one thing in common, and that they did not give up. Instead, they took it as an opportunity to learn and grow.
Thank you, counselors, for explaining the students so beautifully about failing in life does not mean an end. So students, I hope it is very clear that failing in life does not mean to give up. As rightly said by our ex-president Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam, if you fail, never give up, because fail itself means first attempt in learning.
Thank you, ma'am, for inviting the counselors who have so wonderfully explained that failure is not an end, but it is a feedback from which we have to take lessons and move on.
Thank you, ma'am, for helping us in overcoming the sad feeling of becoming a loser.
It's okay, students. Take care.
किसी ने सच ही कहा है, असफलता आपके हौसलों को गिराने के लिए नहीं, बल्कि आपके हौसलों को पंख लगाने के लिए आती है। असफलता देरी है, पराजय नहीं। यह आपके जीवन मार्ग की बाधा है, गतिरोध नहीं। इसी भावना को दर्शाते हुए सविता पाटिल द्वारा रचित कविता के माध्यम से आइए जानते हैं हमारा हार के प्रति क्या जज्बा होना चाहिए।
ये आसमां छिन गया तो क्या, ये आसमां छिन गया तो क्या, नया ढूंढ लेंगे। हम वो परिंदे नहीं जो उड़ना छोड़ देंगे।
ये पारावर छूट गया तो क्या, ये पारावर छूट गया तो क्या, नया सागर ढूंढ लेंगे। हम वो कश्तियाँ नहीं जो तैरना छोड़ देंगे।
कदम चलते रहेंगे, कदम चलते रहेंगे जब तक श्वास है। परिस्थिति से परे स्वयं पर हमें विश्वास है।
एक राह नहीं मिली तो क्या, एक राह नहीं मिली तो क्या, नई राहें ढूंढ लेंगे। हम वो मुसाफिर नहीं जो चलना छोड़ देंगे।
ख्वाबों को महकता रखते हैं, ख्वाबों को महकता रखते हैं। हम मंजिलों से राबता रखते हैं। नशा हमें हमारी फितरत का हर हार करती है बुलंद इरादा जीत का।
ये मुकाम नहीं हासिल तो क्या, ये मुकाम नहीं हासिल तो क्या, नए ठिकाने ढूंढ लेंगे। हम वो शय नहीं जो अपनी तलाश छोड़ देंगे।
हम वो परिंदे नहीं जो उड़ना छोड़ देंगे। हम वो परिंदे नहीं जो उड़ना छोड़ देंगे। धन्यवाद।
Good morning. Good morning. Thought for the day. Failure should be our teacher, not our undertaker. Failure is delay, not defeat. It is a temporary detour, not a dead end. I shall repeat, failure should be our teacher, not our undertaker. Failure is delay, not defeat. It is a temporary detour, not a dead end. Thank you and have a nice day.
With these beautiful lines, we wind up our class assembly. We would like to pay gratitude to Reverend Father Principal, who has given us this wonderful platform to convey our message to you all. Now, kindly join us in the national anthem and pay homage to our nation.
Morning students, morning teachers. So many things are told about failure. I hope many of you try to listen to. And the gist of all this, you can say in one sentence: failures are the stepping stones to success. Failures are the stepping stones to success. If you don't make mistake, you will never learn. If you want to learn, please make mistake. Please make mistake, and then you will surely learn how to do, how to say, how to speak, how to walk. Because if you look at a little child, the child does not get up on a fine day and start walking. Have you seen any child like that? On a fine day, the child gets up and starts walking. Have you seen a child on a fine day start speaking? Very clearly, have you seen any child like that? No. So learn from the child. We elders can learn from the child. Child makes mistakes, fails, falls, flutters, and then learns to speak, learns to walk, etc. So why are we afraid of making mistakes? Why are we afraid of making mistakes while speaking? Many of you don't want to speak in English because you know you are going to make mistakes. We know you are going to make mistakes. We the teachers, we the mentors, everyone knows. Unless you make mistake, you will not learn. It may be there in your mind, the right sentence, but when you speak, you will make mistake because you are a child. And only if you make mistake, you are going to learn. So, my advice to every one of you is, if you want to speak in English, for that matter anything, if you want to do, you will make mistake. Please don't be afraid of making mistakes, and from the mistake you will learn. So with this beautiful thought, we begin the day. So I congratulate the class 12C for having presented this wonderful presentation with so much of input. So let us put our hands together to congratulate them. At the announcements, inter-house football junior boys inter-house match will take place tomorrow, and also table tennis inter-house for senior boys and girls. It has become a nuisance that the stay-back system. In fact, now at least half of the students are staying back, and we do not know who is staying back and what purpose. So all the class teachers are requested to make a list of those who are given the permission now with my signature on it, the name, class, and for which purpose and for which activity. So this list every class teacher shall prepare and submit in the school office today itself. Stand for announcement.
Classes, attention! Study!
Remedial classes are to begin from Monday. All the class teachers will prepare the list for those students who are poorly performing. PT1 is already over and they should know who are the ones who need these remedial classes. So class teachers shall prepare and inform the parent about this, and the parent will send a request for the same with the signature in the school diary. Moving to classes.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.